Want to speak real French from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at FrenchPod101.com.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to French. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Candice.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of French grammar. In some languages, like French, nouns are divided into different classes.
For example, French divides nouns into two classes using gender, masculine and feminine.
Let's take a look at some masculine nouns.
Lit, fromage, village, livre.
Now, feminine nouns.
Cuillère, bout, revue, syllabe.
There are some rules for learning the gender of French nouns, but they're quite complex. Many consider the designation of gender to be largely arbitrary, so it's likely that you'll just have to memorize them. Okay, so now you know that nouns are divided into gender classes, but why is this important?
Learning gender nouns is important for forming sentences in French. For example, lit means bed in French, and it's a masculine noun. If you want to refer to the bed in a sentence, however, you need to add le before the noun. Le lit. In fact, if you want to refer to any masculine noun in French, you need to use le or un. Le fromage, le village, un livre. On the other hand, we use la and une to refer to feminine nouns. La cuillère, la boue, une revue, une syllabe.
Now you know how to refer to nouns in French. Similar to nouns, French verbs can also be separated into different classes.
There are three classes of verbs in French, and they are verbs ending in « et », manger, nager, travailler, aimer. Verbs ending in « ir », finir, ralentir, réagir. And verbs ending in « re », voir and ir, mourir, recevoir, lire.
Each class of verbs will be conjugated differently when used in a sentence. Let's take a look at a few examples to see how they differ.
To swim is nager in French, and it comes from the first group because it ends in « et ».
I swim in the present tense would be,
Je nage,
past tense would be,
je nageais,
and the future tense would be.
je nagerai.
Let's compare that to a verb in group 2.
To finish is finir in French, and it comes from the second group because it ends in ir. Je finis, je finissais, je finirai.
Finally, a verb from group 3.
To read is lire in French, and it comes from the third group because it ends with re. Je lis, je lisais, je lirai.
We'll teach you how to properly conjugate verbs of different classes in future lessons. For now, just know that there are 3 different categories of verbs in French. Okay, now you know about nouns and verbs in French. Let's learn how to form basic sentences in French.
Forming sentences in French is quite simple, especially for English speakers, as French uses the same word order as English.
Consider the following example.
Le garçon mange un gâteau.
In English, this sentence means, the boy eats a cake.
If we break down the French sentence, we can see that the order matches the English sentence one-to-one. Le, de, garçon, boy, mange, eats, un, gâteau, cake.
We can create basic sentences in French simply by exchanging English words for French words.
Notice how we use un here, because gâteau is a masculine noun. If the object had been a feminine noun, we'd have used une instead.
We can create any basic sentence in French by starting with a subject, in this case, the boy.
le garçon.
Then follow it with a verb, eats,
Mange.
and finally end with the object, the cake.
Un gâteau.
As you can see, the word order in French is just like English. Finally, let's learn how to create negative sentences in French.
Negating sentences in French is simple. Simply add ne before the verb and pas after it. J'ai, je n'ai pas. J'aime lire, je n'aime pas lire. Juliette mange, Juliette ne mange pas. You can negate any basic sentence in French this way.
Well done! Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that French nouns are divided into two classes, masculine and feminine. Similar to nouns, French verbs are divided into three groups. French uses the same subject, verb, object word order like English. And finally, you learned how to negate sentences in French. We've covered only the very basics of French grammar. If you're interested in learning more, check out our French in 3 Minutes video series. In that course, we teach you useful phrases while covering the fundamentals of French grammar, and each lesson is only 3 minutes long. In the next lesson, we'll introduce you to the basics of French writing. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Bye!
Hi everyone, I'm Leah from FrenchPod101.com. Do you know how to say I love you in French? In this lesson, you will learn 3 different ways to say I love you and a special phrase for Valentine's Day. Let's go! So the most normal way to confess to someone you do know would be Je t'aime, je t'aime, je t'aime, I love you. This phrase is direct. You should use it only when confessing your love. If you want to be less direct, you can use this phrase. Tu comptes tant pour moi. Tu comptes tant pour moi. It means you mean so much to me. Tu comptes tant pour moi. Now, if you want to be more romantic in expressing your love for someone, you can say this phrase. Les mots ne peuvent pas décrire mon amour pour toi. Les mots ne peuvent pas décrire mon amour pour toi. It means, words can't describe my love for you.
Cheesy.
Now you know 3 different ways to say I love you in French. And here is one more. What if you want to spend Valentine's Day with someone special? In that case, say this phrase. If it's a girl, you can say Veux-tu être ma Valentine? And if it's a boy, you can say Veux-tu être mon Valentin? Will you be my Valentine? Veux-tu être ma Valentine? Veux-tu être mon Valentin? If you want to ask formally, you can say Voulez-vous être mon Valentin? Or Voulez-vous être ma Valentine? Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. Listen to the expression and repeat after me. I love you. Je t'aime. Je t'aime. You mean so much to me. Tu comptes tant pour moi. Tu comptes tant pour moi. Words can describe my love for you. Les mots ne peuvent pas décrire mon amour pour toi. Les mots ne peuvent pas décrire mon amour pour toi. Will you be my Valentine? Veux-tu être ma Valentine? Or, veux-tu être mon Valentin? Veux-tu être ma Valentine? Or, veux-tu être mon Valentin? Well done! Did you know that on Valentine's Day, many shops in France are decorated in red or rouge and pink or rose? Couples also give each other weekends away or trips to take together. Perfume is also a very popular gift on Valentine's Day. You just learned how to say I love you in 3 different ways in French and a special phrase for Valentine's Day. If you're interested in learning more, don't forget to download your free Romance and Love cheat sheet, which includes romance words, compliments, and pickup lines. Check out the description below and go to FrenchPod101.com now. I'll see you next time et à très bientôt. Bye bye. Bye bye. Learn!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
Hi everyone, I'm Gabriella. How are your French listening skills? In this video, you'll have a chance to test them out with a quiz. First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
Une dame demande un renseignement au libraire. Quel livre voulait voir la dame? Excusez-moi, je voudrais jeter un œil sur ce livre sur cette étagère.
Quel livre voulez-vous?
Le livre sur les voitures.
Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Celui-ci?
C'est ça.
Et voilà.
Quel livre voulait voir la dame? Une dame demande un renseignement au libraire. Quel livre voulait voir la dame? Excusez-moi, je voudrais jeter un œil sur ce livre sur cette étagère.
Quel livre voulez-vous?
Le livre sur les voitures.
Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Celui-ci?
C'est ça.
Et voilà.
Did you get it right? I hope you learned something from this quiz. Let us know if you have any questions. See you next time.
Welcome back to Top Words, and this week will be about top 15 questions you should know. So if you travel in France, pay attention to those. Aimes-tu la cuisine française? Do you like French food? So if you are invited somewhere, usually people ask this question. Aimes-tu la cuisine française? Do you like French food? Oh, aimes-tu la cuisine française? Yeah, sure, I love it. So, do you like French food? C'est quand votre anniversaire? When is your birthday? Quand est ton anniversaire? If you want to be a bit casual. Ou quand est ton anniversaire? When is your birthday? Combien de temps as-tu appris le français? How long have you been studying French? Combien de temps as-tu appris le français? Or, pendant combien de temps as-tu appris le français? Usually we say pendant combien de temps. I'm sorry if I speak really fast, but French people usually speak really fast. For 3 months. Wow, you're good. Comment t'appelles-tu? What's your name? You will hear this one a lot. So, comment t'appelles-tu? Or, more casually will be comment tu t'appelles? Comment vas-tu? How are you? Comment vas-tu? How are you? Hey, bonjour, comment vas-tu? Or, you will often hear comment ça va? Hey, comment ça va? D'où venez-vous? Where are you from? D'où venez-vous? Where do you come from? And just answer where you come from. I'm from America! French people often make jokes about English-speaking people, so prove them wrong by answering in French and you will impress them really much. That would be so great. So try it. Es-tu déjà allé en France? Have you been to France? Well, aller is go. So if you are already in France when answering this, it would be Es-tu déjà venu en France? Which is did you ever come to France? With a notion of did you ever come before or is it your first time? Maybe you will also hear this one. Is it your first time in France? Ou est-ce que c'est ta première fois en France? Où as-tu appris le français? Where did you learn French? Où as-tu appris le français? Where did you learn French? On French Pod 101 with me. Yeah, where did you learn French? Leave me a comment below. Maybe in your home country or on the internet, or did you study it more seriously in school? So just tell me. Où habitez-vous? Where do you live? I used to live in the south, so between Spain and Italy. It was a nice place, full of sun and everything. You should check it out, so come to the south of France, it's sunny. Où sont les toilettes? Where is the bathroom? Où sont les toilettes? You will need this one in a restaurant. Toilette is a plural word in French. We used to make a joke that French toilets are so dirty that you have to check many of them before finding a decent one. That's why it's a plural name. Some toilets you have to pay to access them actually in public places. So be careful. Sometimes you need a coin, especially in stations like train stations. Où travaillez-vous? Where do you work? Où travaillez-vous? Where do you work? I work on the internet. It's a worldwide place. So, and after this one, usually you will be asked, what do you work in? Or what's your job? Quel est ton travail? Ou dans quoi travailles-tu? Here you go. Qu'avez-vous dit? What did you say? Qu'avez-vous dit? Or you will often hear, pardon? Or excuse me? Like, I'm sorry, like I didn't catch you. So, pardon? Excusez-moi. Or, can you repeat? Pouvez-vous répéter? So if French people say that to you, just try and repeating what you said. Qu'est-ce que c'est? What is this? Qu'est-ce que c'est? I don't know. Show them something fancy for your own country and tell them. And they will ask, oh, qu'est-ce que c'est? Quel est ton numéro de téléphone? What's your phone number? Quel est ton numéro de téléphone? What's your phone number? This is a pickup line. Hey, what's your phone number? Quel est ton numéro de téléphone? Ah, yeah, maybe they will ask for your pseudo, which is your ID in any web messaging service. Es-tu célibataire? Are you single? And if you are traveling to France and happen to find love, maybe you will be asked, are you single? Es-tu célibataire? Or maybe the other sneaky way around. Est-ce que tu as un copain? Ou est-ce que tu as une copine? Do you have a boyfriend or do you have a girlfriend? So maybe you will find French love in France. Who knows? And it's the end for this week. Don't forget to subscribe for more and don't forget to check the website if you want to know more about French. And see you next time. À bientôt. Oh. Oh. Ah. Quoi?
Hi, welcome to Introduction to French. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Candice.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of French pronunciation. In the previous lesson, you learned that roughly 30% of all English words share their origins with French words. Because of this, French pronunciation is quite similar to English.
In fact, there are more common sounds than there are different ones. For example, bout, sandwich, daim, gain.
Chances are you can imitate these words without much difficulty because these words use common sounds that exist in English.
Of course, there are a few differences between French and English sounds too. Agneau, roux, huit, cent.
These unfamiliar sounds are the ones that you need to focus on and practice. Let's take a look at some of those sounds.
A big aspect of French pronunciation relates to nasalization.
Nasalization simply means to pronounce something through the nose. For example, the M and N sounds are considered nasal consonants because the air escapes your nose when you pronounce these sounds.
In French, some vowels can be pronounced through the mouth or through the nose. Compare oral vowels with nasal vowels in French. Une, un, sonne, son, certaine, certain. Nasal vowels are used often in French, so it's important that you learn them in the near future.
Another unique French sound is the guttural R sound.
Roux, Rester, ri. This R sound is pronounced at the back of the mouth. It sounds almost as if you're gargling.
Lastly, let's take a look at the French U sound.
U, chute, ru, tu. To pronounce this sound, try saying E as in see, and then from there, slowly round your lips. U.
French is renowned for being a language full of silent letters, particularly at the end of words. Consider the following.
Je vais manger au restaurant. The S in the word vais, the R in the word manger, and the T at the end of restaurant are all silent letters. We don't actually pronounce them in French. Listen to it again. Je vais manger au restaurant.
In fact, most of the time, the last letter of a French word is actually silent.
Coup, froid, vous.
There are, of course, exceptions to this rule. Let's look at the most common case, when the next word starts with a vowel. Ordinarily, the final letter of a French word is silent.
Vous,
The final S in this word is silent, but when the next word begins with a vowel,
vous avez.
the S is no longer silent and is instead pronounced like a Z sound.
Vous avez.
The two words are connected by the Z sound and pronounced as if they were a single word.
This linking of words through the activation of the silent letter is a common phenomenon in French known as liaison. It's the special quality which makes French sound the way that it does.
Let's look at a few more examples of liaison in action.
Tout, tout homme, un ami. Neuf, 9 ans. Gentil, gentil enfant.
Liaisons may seem a little difficult to learn at first, but they will only get easier and more intuitive by the time you get used to pronouncing whole sentences in French.
Okay, let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned.
In this lesson, you learned that there are more familiar sounds than unfamiliar sounds in French. We showed you some unfamiliar sounds like nasal vowels, the guttural R, and the French U. You also learned that the final letter in a French word is usually silent, and that the letter becomes active if the next word starts with a vowel. This process is known as liaison. We've covered only the basics of French pronunciation. If you're interested in learning more, check out the entire course we created, named The Ultimate Guide to French Pronunciation. In that course, we cover and break down every single sound in the French language, showing you mouth and tongue positioning and giving you tips to help you perfect your French pronunciation. In the next lesson, we'll introduce you to the basics of French grammar, where you'll learn about French word order and how to build basic phrases in French. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Bye!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
Hey watchers! This week we're gonna learn about top 25 French phrases. Let's go! Bonjour. Bonjour is hello. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Hey! Okay, now you can say bonjour any time of the day, even if it's night. Salut, hi. Hi is salut. Salut, comment ça va? Hey, how you doing? So salut is like bonjour, and you can also use it to say hi and to say goodbye. So when you leave, you can also say salut, à la prochaine. Ça va. How are you? You can say ça va, like just after salut, ça va. Or bonjour, ça va. Or comment ça va? If you only say ça va, it's kind of missing something, so put it after a greeting. So, how are you? How you doing? Comment ça va? Bonsoir. Good evening. Not good night. Almost good night, but not. Bonsoir is also a greeting you can use when you leave or when you enter someone's place. For example, if you go in the evening to someone's house or party, you can say, ah, bonsoir tout le monde. Bonne nuit. Good night. Good night is bonne nuit, person sleeping next to you. Bonne nuit. Or to your family when you go to sleep. Oui. Yes. Yeah. Oui. You also say yeah. Maybe you've heard oui, oui.
like French people often do this. Oui, oui. It's also a cartoon for children. Oui, oui, and his little car. You should try and watch it in French. It's very educative. Non. Non, non. You have oui, oui, and non, non. We often say them both. Just use yes and no. Oui et non. Je m'appelle. My name is. Je m'appelle Lia. You knew that already, huh? What's your name? Leave it in the comment in French. S'il vous plaît. Please. Please. S'il vous plaît. This is a polite version, and if you want the more friendly version, is s'il te plaît, if you're asking a friend. S'il te plaît, give me your candy, I'm starving. S'il te plaît, donne-moi des bonbons. L'addition s'il vous plaît. D'accord, okay. So we also use okay, but with a French accent. Okay. Hi, how you doing? Want to come to the cinema with me? D'accord. Excusez-moi. Excuse me. If someone is blocking the way, you just say excusez-moi. Merci. Thank you. Please learn this one and be polite. In French, we just have merci. There is no short version of it, and you can use it for anyone. So when you receive something at the grocery store, ah, merci. Or when someone does you a favor, ah, merci. If you want to be really polite or really thankful, you can say merci beaucoup. Thanks a lot. De rien. So you are welcome. If someone says merci to you, you can just say ah, de rien. So merci et de rien. Those come in a pair, so learn them together. It's nice. Il est quelle heure? What time is it? Or quelle heure il est? You will more often hear the second version. So, oh, excusez-moi, quelle heure il est? Excuse me, what time is it? Où sont les toilettes? Where is the bathroom? We don't have many available bathrooms in public places, and usually they are really dirty. So, or maybe if you are at someone's house, you can ask, où sont les toilettes? Enchanté, nice to meet you. Bonjour, enchanté, je m'appelle Lia. And here you have 3 of today's words together. Isn't it nice? Bonjour, je m'appelle Lia, enchanté. Comment ça va? Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Lia. How you doing? And you have all of them to greet people and start a nice conversation. So nice to meet you, enchanté. À bientôt. See you soon. This is what I should say at the end of each video. See you soon or à bientôt. Use it when you leave. That's about it. À demain. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. À demain. Yeah. Au revoir. Bye bye or goodbye. Au revoir is kind of polite. You can use it with everyone as well. So if you want to be more friendly, we use like ciao. Au revoir is only for leaving. So yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye, watchers. See you next time. À bientôt. No, not yet, because I'm gonna see you guys a lot. Bien sûr. Of course. Bien sûr que c'est le cas. If you want to be sarcastic, you can say oui, bien sûr. We mostly use it this way because we like being sarcastic. So yeah, of course. Yes, yes, you are. Yes. Je peux utiliser. May I use something, something? So fill the blank with whatever you want. Can I use your pencil? Je peux utiliser ce stylo. Oui, oui. Je suis désolé. I'm sorry. Ah, yeah, if you bump into someone, you can also use this one. Like, oh, je suis désolé. If I bump into somebody, they won't wake up, duh. Mundo, go where it pleases. Yeah.
Terminator is more like this.
I'm sorry. Je suis désolé. Pourquoi? Why? Why? Pourquoi? C'est vrai? Really? C'est vrai? C'est vrai? Oh, fine. So, if you're hearing gossip and stuff, you're gonna be like, oh, c'est vrai? No, no, c'est vrai? Oh, c'est vrai? Really? Yeah. And you can use it with all the intonations. C'est vrai? C'est vrai. So the opposite of c'est vrai is c'est pas vrai. No, it's not. Or not really. Je ne comprends pas. I don't understand. Leah never understand. Leah says her name a lot, or else she forgets. Happened before. When someone is speaking too fast, like I do, I'm sorry, je suis désolé. You can tell them je ne comprends pas. Or, yeah, because they have all those fancy French words and vocabulary, you can be like, non, je ne comprends pas. At the end. So remember those main sentences and don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment if you ne comprends pas. Bye bye, au revoir et à bientôt. Please stop it, I'm waving.
In this video, you learn 20 of the most common words and phrases in French. Hi everybody, my name is Leah. Welcome to the 800 Core French Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in French. But there is a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you've learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at FrenchPod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master French. Okay, let's get started. First is bonjour. Hello. Bonjour. Bonjour. Hello. Quand je rencontre une personne, je dis bonjour. When I meet someone, I say hello. Quand je rencontre une personne, je dis bonjour. Bon après-midi. Have a nice afternoon. Bon après-midi. Bon après-midi. Have a nice afternoon. Bon après-midi, mademoiselle. Have a nice afternoon, miss. Bon après-midi, mademoiselle. Bonsoir. Good evening. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Good evening. Bonsoir, bienvenue. Good evening, welcome. Bonsoir, bienvenue. Bonne nuit. Good night. Bonne nuit. Bonne nuit. Good night. Bonne nuit, mon ami. Good night, my friend. Bonne nuit, mon ami. Enchanté de vous rencontrer. Nice to meet you. Enchanté de vous rencontrer. Enchanté de vous rencontrer. Nice to meet you. Enchanté de vous rencontrer, monsieur. Nice to meet you, sir. Enchanté de vous rencontrer, monsieur. Comment vas-tu? How are you? Comment vas-tu? Comment vas-tu? How are you? Ça fait longtemps. Comment vas-tu? It's been a long time. How are you? Ça fait longtemps. Comment vas-tu? Oui. Yes. Oui. Oui. Yes. Oui, s'il vous plaît. Yes, please. Oui, s'il vous plaît. Non. No. Non. Non. No. Non merci. No thanks. Non merci. Merci. Thank you. Merci. Merci. Thank you. Merci beaucoup pour l'invitation. Thank you very much for the invitation. Merci beaucoup pour l'invitation. Je m'appelle. I'm. Je m'appelle. Je m'appelle. I'm. Je m'appelle John. I'm John. Je m'appelle John. Au revoir. Goodbye. Au revoir. Au revoir. Goodbye. Au revoir, à bientôt. Goodbye, see you soon. Au revoir, à bientôt. Mauvais. Bad. Mauvais. Mauvais. Bad. C'est un mauvais garçon. He is a bad boy. C'est un mauvais garçon. Bon. Good. Bon. Bon. Good. Les légumes sont bons pour vous. Vegetables are good for you. Les légumes sont bons pour vous. Belle. Beautiful. Belle. Belle. Beautiful. Très beau. Very beautiful. Très beau. Laid. Ugly. Laid. Laid. Ugly. Visage laid. Ugly face. Visage laid. Facile. Easy. Facile. Facile. Easy. Ce problème est facile. This problem is easy. Ce problème est facile. Difficile. Difficult. Difficile. Difficile. Difficult. Très difficile. Very difficult. Très difficile. Près de. Near. Près de. Près de. Near. Je vis près de l'université. I live near the university. Je vis près de l'université. Loin. Far. Loin. Loin. Far. La gare est loin d'ici. The station is far from here. La gare est loin d'ici. Petit. Small. Petit. Petit. Small. Ce pull est trop petit. This sweater is too small. Ce pull est trop petit. Remember, the goal of this series is to build a vocabulary of the 800 most common words and phrases in French. If that sounds like a lot, don't worry, we can help you. Click the link in the description to access the full list. You'll also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources at FrenchPod101.com. See you next time! Au revoir!
Hi everybody, Candice here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I answer some of your most common French questions. The question for this lesson is, how can you tell if a noun is masculine or feminine? In French, every noun has a gender. That goes for plural nouns too, like apples and oranges. Other Romance languages have masculine and feminine nouns too. It's a trait that comes from Latin, and the gender depends on the origin of the older Latin word. English doesn't have masculine or feminine nouns, so the easiest way to tell the gender of a French noun is by looking at the last letter of the noun. The general rule is that if a noun ends with an I, it's feminine. For example, la lettre, meaning the letter, la veste, meaning the jacket, and la fraise, meaning the strawberry. Nouns that end with any other letter are generally masculine, like le croissant, the croissant, le mec, which means the guy, or le bijou, meaning the jewel. The only thing is, there are lots of exceptions. For example, le fromage, meaning cheese, is masculine, even though it ends with an I. Another example is voix, meaning voice. This word is feminine, even though it doesn't end with an I, so it's la voix. Because there are so many exceptions to the general pattern, it's best to learn nouns and their articles together. That's le or un for masculine nouns and la or une for feminine nouns. Le and la are like the article de in English. Un or une are similar to a. Although a for feminine nouns and any other letters for masculine nouns are the most common ways to determine the gender of a noun in French, a few other letter patterns sometimes apply. Some masculine endings are age, like le fromage or cheese, ment, like le document or document, au, like un oiseau or bird, and voir, like le miroir or the mirror. If you see these letter patterns when you're studying French, it's safe to assume those nouns are masculine. Some feminine patterns are sion or chen, like la nation, meaning the nation, T, like la liberté or liberty, and euse, like la chanteuse or the singer. Just like with the masculine letter patterns I just mentioned, you can assume that words ending with these letter patterns are feminine. It's important to remember what gender a noun is because sometimes it influences other parts of the sentence in French. For example, adjectives change their spelling according to the gender of the noun they modify. It looks a bit like this. The blue notebook, which is masculine, is le cahier bleu. The blue chair, which is feminine, is la chaise bleue, with an extra E. And that's it. I hope that answers your question. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. À bientôt. See you soon.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn the top 5 French pronunciation mistakes to avoid. These are common mistakes that French learners tend to make, so pay close attention and make sure that you don't make these same mistakes too. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Number 1. Mispronouncing the French R. The French R is the most difficult sound to pronounce properly for many students of French, particularly when there isn't a similar sound in the student's own language. It's also a very common letter in French, so it will appear often in everyday conversations. Take, for example,
Lorsque tu arrives à la gare, appelle-moi.
It's kind of deceptive to think of the French R in the same way as the English R, just because they are written in the same way. They clearly don't sound the same at all. Not only this, but they also use different muscles in the mouth. The French R is also called a guttural R because it's pronounced closer to the throat. Don't worry about the specifics now, however. We'll break this sound down in detail in Lesson 7. Number 2. Pronouncing a silent letter. It's a common mistake for students of French to pronounce silent letters because the tendency is to pronounce everything that one sees. The French language, however, is full of words that contain silent letters, particularly at the end of a word. It is in fact more common for a French word to have a silent letter than none at all. Take, for example,
Je vais pêcher au port.
Did you catch the silent letters in this sentence? Notice how Miley's did not pronounce the S and the T. Listen to it again.
Je vais pêcher au port.
Most of the time, you don't need to pronounce the last letter of a word in French. There are of course some exceptions to this rule, particularly if the following word starts with a vowel sound, or if the word ends with a C, F, or an L. But as a general principle, it's quite common to drop the last letter, as it will most likely be a silent letter. We'll cover silent letters in detail in Lesson 8. Number 3. Aspirated H's versus muted H's.
N. Hôpital.
Aspirated H's will not allow contractions or liaisons to occur in front of it. For example,
Laine. La haine.
Whereas muted H's will.
L'hôpital.
Most French H's are of this muted variety. They're not interchangeable either, so their usage will depend on the word itself. This unfortunately means that you'll just have to learn them individually. Next is number 4, contractions in French. Unlike English, contractions are not optional in French. You must always contract words wherever possible. For example,
Je appelais. J'appelle. Ce est. C'est. De le. Du. De les. Des.
Don't worry about the rules and principles for contractions too much, though, as we'll cover them in detail in Lesson 8. And finally, number 5, the French U.
U.
The French U is typically a difficult vowel sound for many speakers to pronounce correctly, particularly for speakers of English, because there isn't an equivalent sound in the English language. Whatever you do, though, do not substitute this sound for the English U sound. A simple way to produce the French U is to first try and pronounce the double E sound in the word see. From this position, simply round your lips as if you were about to whistle. And that's all there is to it. Try it.
U.
Let's listen to a few examples which utilize the French U in some words.
Tu. Rue. Chute.
We'll cover this vowel sound again in Lesson 4. Now you know the top 5 French pronunciation mistakes to avoid. Try to be careful so that you don't commit these same mistakes. In the next lesson, we'll start learning vowel sounds in French. Which of these 5 mistakes is the hardest to avoid? Have you learned any tricks to deal with them? Let us know in the comments. Stick with us and you'll overcome it quickly. See you in the next Ultimate French Pronunciation Guide lesson.
In this video, you learned 20 of the most common words and phrases in French. Hi everybody! My name is Leah. Welcome to the 800 Core French Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 800 most common words and phrases in French. But there is a twist. With each new lesson in this series, we'll include the previous lessons at the end. So after you've learned the new words and phrases, stick around and review what you learned in previous lessons. Reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at FrenchPod101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard deck, and finally master French. Okay, let's get started. First is brosser, brush, brosser, brosser, brush. Se brosser les cheveux. To brush your hair. Se brosser les cheveux. Doucher. Shower. Doucher. Doucher. Shower. Je me douche le matin. I take a shower in the mornings. Je me douche le matin. Laver. Wash. Laver. Laver. Wash. Laver les vêtements. Wash the clothes. Laver les vêtements. Partir. Leave. Partir. Partir. Leave. Je pars maintenant. I'm leaving now. Je pars maintenant. Chèque. Check. Chèque. Chèque. Check. Puis-je avoir le chèque, s'il vous plaît? Could I get the check, please? Puis-je avoir le chèque, s'il vous plaît? 66. 66. 66. 66. 66. J'ai couru pendant 66 minutes. I ran for 66 minutes. J'ai couru pendant 66 minutes. 77. 77. 77. 77. 77. Le numéro de sa porte est le 77. His door number is 77. Le numéro de sa porte est le 77. 88. 88. 88. 88. 88. L'entreprise compte 88 employés. The company has 88 employees. L'entreprise compte 88 employés. 99. 99. 99. 99. 99. Son grand-père a 99 ans. His grandfather is 99 years old. Son grand-père a 99 ans. 100. 100. 100. 100. 100. C'est 100 euros. It's 100 euros. C'est 100 euros. Salle de séjour. Living room. Salle de séjour. Salle de séjour. Living room. Allons prendre le thé dans la salle de séjour. Let's have some tea in the living room. Allons prendre le thé dans la salle de séjour. Salle à manger. Dining room. Salle à manger. Salle à manger. Dining room. La salle à manger est à côté de la cuisine. The dining room is next to the kitchen. La salle à manger est à côté de la cuisine. Couloir. Hallway. Couloir. Couloir. Hallway. Ne cours pas dans les couloirs. Don't run in the hallways. Ne cours pas dans les couloirs. Appartement. Apartment. Appartement. Appartement. Apartment. Nous devons libérer l'appartement. We have to vacate the apartment. Nous devons libérer l'appartement. Maison. House. Maison. Maison. House. C'est une jolie maison. It's a beautiful house. C'est une jolie maison. Exercice. Exercise. Exercice. Exercice. Exercise. Le professeur corse cet exercice. The teacher makes the exercise more difficult. Le professeur corse cet exercice. Ouvert. Open. Ouvert. Ouvert. Open. Jusqu'à quelle heure êtes-vous ouvert? How late are you open until? Jusqu'à quelle heure êtes-vous ouvert? Écoutez. Listen. Écoutez. Écoutez. Listen. J'aime écouter la radio avant d'aller dormir. I like to listen to the radio before going to sleep. J'aime écouter la radio avant d'aller dormir. Anniversaire. Birthday. Anniversaire. Anniversaire. Birthday. Je vais à une fête d'anniversaire ce soir. I'm going to a birthday party this evening. Je vais à une fête d'anniversaire ce soir. Prendre sa retraite. Retire. Prendre sa retraite. Prendre sa retraite. Retire. Mon père va prendre sa retraite l'année prochaine. My father is going to retire next year. Mon père va prendre sa retraite l'année prochaine. Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 20 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at FrenchPod101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily life conversation. You also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! Au revoir!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.